it's interesting. As soon as I hit the tarmac in Hawaii, my phone goes off. And I very infrequently actually even answer my phone. It goes to message, and I'll get to it when I can. That's just kind of how it is. I developed that habit way back when the phones were attached to the wall, right? And I hated anybody in my house just getting up and scrambling to the phone just because it made a beep, it made a noise. I saw a bit of enslavement in that. I saw a little bit of Pavlov's stimulus response, bell ringing, dog, and salivating, all of that going down. But it's interesting. I landed on the tarmac and the phone rings, and the first thing this guy says to me in kind of broken English is, "So when are you coming back?" And I'm like, "Who is this? Do I know you? Do I know you?" And he says to me, "When are you coming back? We need your strength." Yeah, I went, "Oh," and I anchored in, and I'm talking to an elder from Peru. And he's pretty much at the end of the day calling the bundle, calling the pipe, to show up and give aid and assist to those places and spaces that need it right now. And that's what we're all about. And so Peru 2025 is underway. So getaway.ca doesn't have any information about Peru yet, but it's got some information on the previous ones we've been under and how it kind of all works. But so if you're interested, check us out there. But it's it's nowhere near even just the only adventure. I have Vidette Lake again coming up this weekend ahead, where there's going to be a gathering of amazing souls at the center of the universe to deep dive, within themselves, to find, to explore, to become, so much more than what they thought they were, stepping in. And it's kind of so cool because there's no power there unless we fired up a generator, of course. So there's no electrical fields even, to disturb us. There's, no cell service of any kind, which, can be a threat to some people's psyche, but I love it. You disconnect so you can connect, right? Kind of an idea. There's no street lights, so the dark is dark. When it's dark, it's night, right? And I love that about it because, when it's sunny there too. And so it's a really interesting dynamic, at play. And that's where I met this lady that's going to come join us here. We've danced in ceremony together. I bet you I could recognize her energy blindfolded, from across from. Come on out and join us, Sabine. Hello, love, everybody. Sabine, this is everybody. I bet I could recognize your energy. I was just saying, from even across the room, blindfolded, right? So you bring a presence to the team. That is pretty cool, actually. Totally. How are things? Welcome. Can I hear you? We had some sound issues earlier. We have some sound. I can hear squawking, but I can't actually. Send in the medic. Yeah, as soon as you talk, it just comes across as beep, beep, dot, dash, dash, dash. Does anybody speak that? Yeah, it's all modulated. It's all weird. So if we had an interpreter that could actually just translate that for us, that would be good. Do we have one of those units out there? One of those fairy folk? One of those scenarios? It worked last time. Also, you know what? Potentially, if you want to sign out and sign back in again, and see if that makes the difference. And we'll be here waiting for you, and I'll be talking about you. Totally. That's what I recommend. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Perfect. Awesome. So while she's doing that, yeah, beep, and off she goes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I met her at the center of the universe there. It was kind of cool. One of the things, to be honest, that impressed me immediately about her was the way she danced around a tarot deck. And there's a lot of you out there, who received some of my teachings, and even thousands of people have gotten readings from me, of course, over the years. I like to kind of, I'll in all humility suggest that I'm a tarot master. I really know my way around that deck. Thousands served, authentically. And, I meet so many tarot card readers, but it's not very often I meet a psychic who reads cards. And that's kind of what I recognized immediately from, this lady's energy is exactly that, is that, she's connecting with and through the archetypes, and she's dancing with the images. There's an actual authentic connection that's taking place that, so often, if you pick up a tarot card deck, every one of them has, that little book in the back of it. There's lots of information online and offline for, you to know your way mechanically around a deck. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, honest to goodness. And even just that, I got to tell you, is awesome. Memorize a tarot deck and start using it in your everyday life. They statistically, scientifically, in all of these different places that people play, in some of the scientific circles, like Ghostbusters. I don't know if you guys know, but Ghostbusters itself was actually based on a true story. There's actually a department in one of these universities that had doing psi testing, with the 4 cards, the psychic cards, and the buzzers, and the and all that stuff. That if you watch the movie again, I mean, I should almost watch it myself just for kicks, But it started off just like that, and it got real weird, including some of the statistics we got with some of the divination tools. Tarot, above all the other divination tools that are available to anybody, tarot kicked butt. It just, nobody could touch it. Nobody came close in any way, shape, or form. And it statistically was somewhere around 75 to 78%, even in the hands of somebody who was an amateur with it, but in the hands of somebody who actually knew how to, work that deck and, was a little bit more, adept, being able to read, and I guess a part of that in teaching, and it's unfortunate we can't have Sabine out here yet, and hopefully she'll join us. But if not, I'll just keep sharing and teaching because we can. This is called Whitestar Teaching, And so anyway, back to the tarot. In the tarot cards, I teach my students all the time. Memorize each of the cards. Memorize every single one of them, so that at any time you can do a flashcard and at a glance be able to know exactly what that card meant intellectually. Yes, I mean, there's a generic, especially if you're working with a 78 card deck, right? So there's definitely a generic memorization dynamic to it. There's a system, 78 cards, 22 major arcana, 16 court cards, and the rest are what's called minor arcana, and you can memorize it, and I gotta tell you, it can be that simple and silly and shallow, but it can also have the depth of archetypes and directions, and there's just so much information there that can and should be explored. Oh, she's back. I'm loving this. How you doing? Can we hear you? Everybody's waiting on bated breath. Dun, dun, dun. Hello, love. Can we hear you? Test, test, test. Hello. Hello.
I'm going to open the window and maybe get better reception.
Oh, I can hear that clear as a bell. Absolutely.
Is that in?
Absolutely. I can hear you. Yay.
You know what? It's in the can of man with the window up. Who knew? Okay, great. Yay.
What? Yay. Well, how are you? Here we are teaching tarot cards.
Screen hasn't frozen or anything? Good.
No, you're good so far. Totally. You're a bit, choppy, but we can live with that. Look how beautiful you are. Yeah.
I want to know.
So we're just talking about the tarot. And to be honest, I mean, the first weekend that I met you, I watched you dance around a tarot deck. And
cheers.
I got to tell you, I've met and I've taught a lot of tarot in this lifetime, and there's a difference between someone who reads tarot cards and a psychic who reads tarot cards. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is that you're walking in such a cool way with your like you're a master, in my opinion, right? You've taken what the cards intellectually mean, but you're able to read all the other nuances. It's kind of like jazz, where the actual music happens between the notes, right? And some people can hear that music. They can look at the cards that are on the table and they can actually hear the whole song, not just the notes. And I witnessed that and I just really want to, because I don't very often. It's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show is to talk about that, a little bit, but I want to know about you. We've spent time in ceremony. But there's always so many other people around. I didn't really get a chance to, if you like, interview you or find out, like, hi, how are you? I'm David. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Well, that's the answer anyway. Where am I from? Where I'm from is very different from where I am. It's likely the case for you too. Right? I would say I'm from the coast of Canada. I moved away from the east side way back when.
Well,
and as you probably know, road now. It's literally where I hang my. It's a good life. It's an interesting life. It's an ever-changing life. It's what I'm seeking. I've actually renamed myself as of late, as you know. So, of course, our history comes with us up to a point. You make a choice to choose the parts that you want to take with you. I'm going by Sika Lightwalker. That's a derivative of my mother's maiden name. And when you see it in writing, it's actually a shout out to you being whoever is out there, to seek a light walker, seek the people walking in the light as you are, and from them, and potentially become one yourself. And I do believe I am a healer at heart, as I believe you've recognized. Oh, thank you. And I am finding my modality. Just as in the past I was seeking my art form, now I'm seeking my version of giving back and healing for others. I'm having a lot of fun out here on the road too. I've got 3 dogs, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That changes it up a lot.
Oh, totally. Yeah, those furry bums. But I mean, you've also got this very this matriarchal, warm, if I dare say, mom energy about you too, right? That healer in you, it shows up, right? And it doesn't surprise me if you have 3 furry bums running around, right? Yeah, just because there's so much love, right? Awesome. So
you know what? You give what you give, what you get, right?
Yeah, I agree. So in the name that
we've got to deal about 3 kins, right?
Yes, I agree. I want to know more about the name.
Okay, I lost you there. In the name.
Yeah, in the name. I want to know a little bit more about that if we can. About there's, in my world, to receive a name and to walk with a name also plants a seed of purpose with that name, right? An intent to step into. And yours definitely has, this name, in my opinion, has a strong, I don't know, ancient alien hit to it, Star Nation, right? This kind of vibration to it. I can appreciate, this, even a Star Wars connection maybe, but I can appreciate that it's a deeper vibration than even just being a movie fan, right? And again, watching the sparks of your aura go off while we're at the center of the universe, and watching you light up in ceremony, there's a multidimensional aspect that is showing up in your walk and who you are. And I'm just curious, why that name? Again, you talked about it being a part of your mom's maiden name, right? I just feel there's more to the story. I'd love to hear it if you have more to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I come from a father who was quite old when he met my mom, and she was 11 years younger. Both of them had been through the Second World War in very different experiences. My mom from the far north, a farm girl, one room schoolhouse, and a young girl who survived the war as an orphan. And I could say oddly enough, but the same experiences that the seriously abused culture at the time of the Second World War went through. Mom as an orphan went through all of those things, which was, according to the girl's language, is German. So her last name was Zik. Zik doesn't make a great first name for me, but my mom's name is Hillard and so I choose to be Sika in honor of my mom and her mother, who I knew just for a little while, but that generation before went through the First World War. And my dad had other experiences that were very serious as a fellow who he was in IC starting at the age of 17, was on 2 ships that went down, and crazy stuff for him being a prisoner of war in North Africa, and anyways, just wild stuff. So it could be a movie. Actually, my mom's story is written in a kind of book from a master's student in the University of Calgary. So I want to honor that in my past, but I am also going to her this firm that others who have us in my drive, whatever you call it, my travels over the last 4 years in particular. I have met up with many others. I've also bumped into people. I've done everything from, ayahuasca journey and campo and slow breathwork, healing ceremonies.
Hold on, love. Hold on, love. I was hoping it was going to catch up, but you're just staggering all over the place. The connection isn't good. Oh, now you're frozen. Oh, there you are. You're back.
So
unfortunately, the connection is just not working. I don't understand. It's just not working. And I've listened to people patiently with Tourette's. That was better. Yeah, not to insult people with Tourette's, but yeah, Okay, awesome. You want to try again? Maybe this time. We find that sometimes if people stay with a monotone staccato, then it works better. You're just so animated.
Okay. So I've chosen to meet with other light walkers, people who are giving back in different forms, whether it's past life, ayahuasca, campo, meditation, more meditation, a lot of breath work I've done. It's not just one visit and I'm done. I am returning to these teachings of particular people and choosing the path that I would like to in order to give back as well. So this is my experience with light walkers. Of course, Tanya from Ventures for Connections. I've met her down in California training with Vision. She welcomed me into that space. She knows Vision personally, so Dissonance been training down there as well. So I haven't found my particular niche yet. I'm pretty close, but also thank you so much for recognizing the healer in me and that I have a certain motherly giving vibe. My Instagram handle is Mom's Gap Year.
No doubt.
So Mom's Gap Year 4. And I just like to give back. I've worked with kids with autism for many years. I worked in the Waldorf system. I taught for state for 30 years. I've always chosen work that is of a giving back kind, or organic farms and trail building, working with young people, damage, and in a good place. So that is also what I seek.
Wow.
I can do more.
Well, that's lots. And
again, van life.
And then van life. Yeah, totally. Oh.
I can tell. Do you like my seat covers?
I got to
I'm a
admit,
little bit
I was actually
hyperactive.
observing them earlier going, those are kind of cool. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a little bit hyperactive. I swear to God, I invested days and hours to finally find these. So I was like a dog hanging on to a bone. I'm going to find the right kind. So this is my 6th vehicle in 4 years.
And that, were they all vans?
No, I started with something bigger with a minibus, having just left my incarnation of being a full-time mom in 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I had a hard time releasing who I was. I was a full-time mom.
Mm.
And, you know, many people have a hard time, many women in particular, single parents. It's just bizarre. You're done that day that you drop your kid off to university or wherever, if they're outside of your town.
Yeah.
What's next, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
I bought a minibus in August as I needed to have more stuff, right? I had to have stuff for when the kids visited.
Yeah.
So now I have hardly any stuff. But this is a working van I'm fixing up. I've learned how to fix them up and make them cute and sell them. Because when you're living in a van, there's always something that's I want something else. I want something bigger. I like something smaller that fits into a parking space better. You know, no. So this one I'm going to sell in about a month, and then I do want to stand up in my van again.
Okay.
That would be good.
Okay.
The little things in life that you don't know, you know, appreciate when you don't have it. Wow, I'd like to straighten my back when I'm cooking. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I understand that. I almost did that. I came, that close, to doing van life and touring, and it just hasn't panned out yet. Yeah, but who's to say? Although I got to admit, I do a lot of traveling in a year, and whether that's driving, I've got that SUV that takes me anywhere now, right? To kind of an idea, and just burning up the miles, for sure. And but at the same time, there's that part of me that I understand what you're saying. I like to have this. I like to have the sanctuary. I like to have a place I can really anchor into, and have my toys on display, right? And have my being able to show up in that place and meet the world from that place of sanctuary also, right? For sure. And then I get to play with all my toys. It's funny. I have stuff in my life. When you minimalize a number of times, you prioritize, right? And so you end up with stuff in your life. Like, for example, this was made for me by my eldest daughter. Yeah, way back. We're talking, and so I mean, it's got to be like 35 years old, right? Kind of idea. Now I was a young
Wow.
dad,
Yeah.
right? For sure. And so there are just some things that, if absolutely, I was in awe the other day looking around at my stuff, right? Of what's with me and what's not. In my last purging, it's interesting how many things that were only of a sacred nature that I took. So many of the,
Ah.
the regular trappings, you know what I'm saying? The things that were nice, but were just a regular trapping. And the more I condensed everything, the more it ended up to be, probably at the end of the day, if I would have kept going, it would have been just the pipe. Me and the pipe and, a motorcycle,
Yeah,
if you like,
totally.
right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right. And so I have been rescued by having a partnership now. And even just in that case, you need,
Sure.
that stability, right? For sure. At least we do right now anyway, but it gives me a chance to, I dug out a magic wand that my dad had made for me, for sure. Because a million years ago, he's since passed on. It's a star garnet in the base, and it's a Lemurian on the other end, and it's got a few symbols carved into it. The wood itself is actually made out of yew wood that had been struck by lightning.
Oh.
Yeah, and the whole point is to use it as a magic wand for anything from dowsing to, basically conducting intention through it for a while. And then at some point, it's supposed to become a set of runes. actually. You cut them into, Scrabble sized pieces, and you make your dramatic runes out of it, right?
Hmm.
For sure. And so
Mhm.
I just, for no particular reason, I just felt I wanted to share that with you today. You know what I'm saying? And show off my magic wand, right? Totally. And so yeah,
Fantastic.
but stuff
Well,
is
I
neat.
wanted to. I'm actually looking for a craft I can do on the road, and in the interior of BC, there's a lake that gets all of the wood detritus from it's Kamloops Lake, massive lake, and all of this dried wood ends up down at the end, and there are some cool gnarly bits. And I would like to make some wands and walking sticks out of those with marbles and precious stones, especially round ones.
Totally.
So, but where do I keep the collection? So I've decided I'm getting a roof rack. That's the next thing, so I can have a project to take with me.
So maybe that's why I felt compelled to show you my magic wand today. Yeah,
Yeah,
this one's
yeah.
pretty simple. This one's pretty. I mean, we made some that were elaborate as well, right? For sure. And but it's nice that this one is just so simple, like I say, because it has a purpose when it's done being a magic wand, right? Yeah. But if you were to touch it and to hold it, it's got juice, right? It's got something going for it, and I could easily see some of the work that you do carrying that also, right? Carrying that imprint,
Thank you.
right?
Well, do you think Merlin's wands were more elaborate than that?
I don't know, maybe not Merlin. He seemed like a pretty simple guy that way, didn't he? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
So maybe.
you start getting into some of this other stuff, this Hollywood magician stuff, right? And Harry Potter and what have you, they can get some pretty elaborate wands going on, right? For sure. But you're right. It's about the substance. It's about the context, of the pieces that make up the whole, right? That ultimately give it that magic and that intent. And a magic wand is cool because you don't necessarily print it with a in my opinion, with a permanent intention. This tool is meant to be whatever it is that you need that day tool, right? It's actually designed specifically to play that way. Yeah, for sure. And I think that multi-purpose dynamic of it, a wizard's truest power source is his will. Recognizing the I am, within ourselves, and allowing that I am, that to flow through our chi chakra, our will power. Is such a powerful part of, in my opinion, a wizard's fuel. The magic itself is.
Well, if I could add to that,
Yeah, please.
like a young warrior, starting off with one feather, more and more until you have, however the time comes, you get a full headdress. You could have feathers hanging off of a wand. You could have copper. Whatever experience you go through. My is from a very.
She froze. Oops, she froze. It looks like it might have been. Yeah, that was a permanent one this time. Woo! She got zapped up into the universe, guys. She's gone. History toast. Yeah. Very interesting. Just talking about the tools. For sure. This symbol on the end here, infinity symbol. It's actually also, in my opinion, somebody asked me recently about my opinion about the twin flame. If you're going to get a twin flame tattoo, what should it be? And that was my answer, of course, the infinity symbol, which, of course, in my opinion, it's about the balance of the two. Oh, Tanya, how are you, girl?
Hi.
How
I
are you?
didn't think I'd be popping like right on the screen, but there you go.
Of course,
So
we lost our girl. Our girl.
I was listening and I thought I'd pop in on the back end. So she was really shaky anyway. It was hard to. So maybe it's for the best, and when she comes back in, it'll improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. How's everyone doing?
I'm amazing. So you packed for Vidette?
Almost. I found some buckets. We got some water, like a few floaties and portable fans that charge. So to charge them in the car, Yeah, because I'm like, we're not gonna like it'll be cooler on that end, but we're
Yeah.
in for a hot one apparently.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
No.
if you wanted to get one of those floating islands, I seriously thought about it because we might need it.
I'm not against the idea. Totally, yeah.
Hi, Sabine.
Sabine!
Oh, yeah.
Wow, your Wi-Fi is so bad we can hardly comprehend you. Yeah, there she goes. She's frozen
Yeah,
again.
it's frozen again. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there. Now you're back.
You
This is fun.
So here I do that. Sometimes.
So it's like somebody on Tourette's, isn't it?
Right?
Totally. Just all twitchy and yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's like adventures in trying to understand another language and tune into that frequency.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so ready for Vidette. I'll just talk for a minute and we'll see if she kicks back in, but she's frozen again. Yeah, she's in and out. Sabine, can you get closer to Wi-Fi by chance? Because you're really bad.
Yeah, it's not doing you justice, this in any way, shape, or form. You're such a outstanding speaker that this is just not doing you any justice whatsoever.
Right. There you go. She's gonna try and improve. All right, we're going for a drive.
Yeah.
Going on the road with Sabine. Wicked.
Now this is reality TV. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. No mussing around.
I love it. Totally.
Yeah.
Only here on Whitestar Teachings. Totally.
Right.
I swear that it sounded, I saw this meme once, or meme, or whatever. How do you pronounce that? I saw it once of
meme.
This old lady, and she's walking and she's talking to her granddaughter and saying, I grew up at a time when, computers, sounded like they were angry at each other to make internet, right? And she's going, ba-bong, being, we all know that up, right? For sure. And her granddaughter's going, yeah, right, grandma, right? Kind of funny. And so that's kind of what this sounded like.
Right. Absolutely. Little Wally going on.
A bit of Star Wars action there. I bet it's a light language somehow,
Right. Yeah, Vidette's gonna be a hot one, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm super excited. Yeah, so we're heading out about noon tomorrow.
Okay.
Everyone else is kind of paired up and on their way, and I'll stay near Wi-Fi on Friday for a bit there because we got a few newbies coming in and get them to let us know. So make sure you let me know when you're leaving the highway. We'll be there early.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna be heading out Wednesday evening or Thursday. Yeah, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm waiting on something, and if it comes in on Wednesday tomorrow, then I can rock it. And if not, it'll be Thursday morning I head out.
All right, Sabine, you want to try again? Anyways, this show's about you guys, so I'm gonna pop out.
Yeah. Oh, no sound.
You might have to unmute yourself.
No sound, love. You can smile. Maybe write on cards or something. And I'll bet you can hear us just fine. I mean, your image is good. It's just there's no sound. Totally.
Well, and StreamYard was a little buggy coming in, so tech is doing some funny things, David.
Absolutely, and we know that the magnetic field. Somebody sent me their dash. Their what do you call one of those things that points to the north?
Compass.
Yeah, one of those things. Yeah, their dash compass was pointing southwest when they know they were driving northwest.
Yeah,
knew for a fact, and they sent this to me and said, David, this doesn't seem right. Does it seem right to you? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Very interesting, right? And so there is so much going on these days.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I've been entertaining myself recently a lot with this flat Earth stuff. And man, the deeper I get into it, it's getting scary because I'm actually turning into a believer, right? And it's just now I have to do a show on it. Or 12, right? Kind of right. Yeah, just because.
Absolutely.
there is so much information, and it's not even just our. When what really got me is when you look at every previous civilization and what they had to say about it. It's like, oh my God, just gobsmacked, right? So, we're kind of the only civilization that believed in this heliocentric model based upon one guy watching Venus do its thing, right? Kind of an idea. And so, very interesting stuff.
Try now, Sabine. Can you see if there's if you're muted on your end on StreamYard? Sorry guys, we're troubleshooting here with her.
Yep.
There you go. No. Can't hear you. Maybe pop out and pop back in one more time. Troubleshooting live here on AFC. That's what we do. And I believe we're on a donut, Dave. It's like a donut. And it's like layers, right? Because there's different layers on it. Yeah. But,
Well, you see, the flat Earth isn't just the flat Earth. I believe that we're on a much larger plate, only we're a smaller plate that keeps on rotating around that larger plate. What that larger plate itself is on or in, that's the next layer of, I have to investigate, right? Because it kind of boggles the mind of that. There has to be an underneath. There has to be or maybe there doesn't. Again, there's parts that are missing for me, right? And so there's a lot of information that's available to at least challenge the current model, but I haven't found any answers yet.
Yeah. Well, and then I always say, so how does that affect you day to day right now?
It doesn't. Exactly. It doesn't matter if it's square, right?
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. And I agree. The directions, like, there's definitely been, we've been talking about this forever now, that there's shifts happening and they're occurring. Look at the events going on, and look at astrology is like ruling the world right now because it's so bang on, that having a good astrologist is almost critical to navigating the world.
Every great leader has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
It makes sense. So we'll figure that one out. Awesome. I don't know if Sabine's coming back on. Do you want to continue with your show?
No, I think what I'm going to do is just because it's been such a gong show, we're going to allow Sabine and we're going to put it to a rest. We're going to shoot the horse. And I hope everyone had as much fun as we did in the attempt. Yeah, and this is the way life works sometimes, right? So, for sure. We're going to have this lady back on because you have to hear her sing. You have to hear her speak. Yeah, she's too eloquent to be, to have Tourette's. Yeah, kind of idea, right? So
I met her through Mind Valley years ago.
Mind Valley, I've heard so many good things about this. Honestly, goodness, and I've met people who met you there. Yeah, it's just very interesting. For sure.
Yeah, Vanessa, who owns Saya Salon.
That's right. Yes, Vanessa Fountain. Yeah, matriarch of Alert Bay, basically.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's fascinating. So it just reminds us how deeply connected we really all are.
Vanessa might even be next week. She's either next week or she's the week after. I'm having her out to share her wonderful energy with the world.
Beautiful. Give the lovely Luna a kiss for me. And you guys, best laid plans sometimes don't work out. And David will be on next week. Alex is on Friday.
Yep.
But we're off. So we're going to go unplug and rest and reset. Woohoo!
I'm right behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Lots of love.
Thanks, Tanya.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, everyone. I'm going to see you next week. It's been awesome. My deepest, heartfelt, absolutely connection with our guest. The way logistics in the world. I'm just a little bit grateful that we're able to continue keeping in touch like this every week. It's become a source of inspiration in my world as much as yours. So, without further ado, I will see you next week. Ciao.